Let us for a few moments meditate on Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the welfare of the whole humanity. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to the Divine Spirit to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have started chapter 18. Sri Ramakrishna himself has said, one who was Sri Ramachandra in Treta Yuga and Sri Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, is now in the human form as Sri Ramakrishna. God descends from the highest state, from the sattvic state. He descends on to this earthly plane because he feels that lot of confusion in religion should be removed. So with that definite purpose, the Paramatman embodies himself in human form to lead the spiritual seekers, to make easy, to clear all our doubts in our spiritual way, and to assure us that realization of God is possible and how we should go along in the path. So the incarnation becomes totally aware of the problems which we face in this world, the challenges we face in this world. So they know the solution also. Very important point which the incarnation always stresses is that we should prepare our mind to go towards God. Whether you have the conception of God as of definite form or He is formless, it's immaterial. The highest truth is God. Call it by any name you want. Give any form you like. So Sri Ramakrishna suggests that sometimes it is good to meditate on the Paramatman, the Supreme God, as free from upadhis, limitations. God is limitless. Ananta. He is beyond limits. He is beyond speech. He is beyond mind. That means if we have to reach that highest truth, we must transcend ourselves beyond mind. We should completely separate ourselves totally from the mind in order to have that highest realization. Then Sri Ramakrishna tells, unless the mind is diverted towards the spiritual ideas, you will not be able to transcend your mind. So you need the cooperation of the mind. It is very essential. Otherwise, people tend to think that whatever they experience in this world, whatever they are seeing, enjoying, they think these things to be real. They think without enjoying this way, life would be waste. They never for a moment think, if they are not realized truth, life is waste. In the opposite way they think, if we have not enjoyed our life, how people are so much enjoying, how much they are dancing, how much they are eating, in how many ways they are using every bit of this world towards their pleasures. If I don't use my life that way, my life would be waste. He feels that way because he is totally attached to these things. Mind is completely soaked, completely submerged in the worldly things. So, that makes you think unreal to be real, real to be unreal. You won't feel the existence of God, and you want to reason out everything according to what your mind directs you. So, the beginning itself you have to be very careful. For many of us, spiritual life has not started yet. Spiritual life begins only when you think the unreal to be unreal, the real to be real. You might not have realized it, but you must be convinced of the fact. You will be able to come to that conclusion if you are associated with men of spirituality, with holy scriptures. Then these facts become very clear. One of the devotees was arguing with Sri Ramakrishna. Vehemently he was telling Sri Ramakrishna that this world is real, very much real, etc., etc. Then Sri Ramakrishna told him in a simple way, well, why don't you say, I like hog plum, I want to eat. Because you are attached to things of the world, you are talking this way. So you can't go away from the miseries in the world as long as you do not give proper direction to your thinking and living. If you take to spiritual life, then your interpretations will be different. So, Sri Ramakrishna suggests that it is helpful to meditate on the highest reality without any limits, upadhis, without any upadhis. Then Sri Ramakrishna says further, it is not possible for the people to hold on to that type of meditation. Sri Ramakrishna accepts that. At the same time he tells it's not possible for most of the people. It's perfectly all right. Sri Ramakrishna approves it. Meditating on God with form or without form, both are wonderful. Go ahead. And it is very easy to meditate even on incarnation. There are all stages. Incarnation is a God coming to our level, God behaving like us, and at the same time showing the gateway to God. That's the beauty of incarnation. He comes to us in human form as our own kith and kin, as our own best friend, as our own father, mother. He cherishes all human relations in the same way as we cherish. So we become charmed with such personality. A kind of wonderful attraction which we can't explain in words. It's called divine attraction because the Supreme God Himself has incarnated in the divine form, in the human form. So there is that invisible, wonderful spiritual attraction. In His presence we feel immensely peaceful, free from all anxieties, worries and fear. And whatever the problems we have, all those things seem to melt away when we sit in the presence of the Incarnation. So, from that point of view, it is easy to meditate on the Incarnation. Not only that, even though they live this mortal frame after the stipulated time, they continue to live in subtle bodies to help the spiritual seekers for sufficient length of time. So they are available. It's easy to get the vision of the Incarnation rather than the vision of gods and goddesses. So he explains further, God in man. He is like a lantern with a light burning inside. You can see the wonderful light so clearly, like a glass case in which one sees precious things. Incarnation is just like that. Unless they show through their life, we will not be able to get rid of this darkness of ignorance. And Sri Ramakrishna tells further that as long as we are in this world, we should accept without any doubt the wonderful play of Shakti. Whatever name you may give, you may call it as Maya, you may call it as Prakriti, call by any name, but you must accept that. When you accept this, we accept Brahman as well. If one is aware of night, one is also aware of the day. If one is aware of knowledge, one is also aware of ignorance. All in the relative realm. There is a stage in which God reveals to his devotee that Brahman is beyond both knowledge and ignorance. It can't be described in words. What exists, exists. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna, who had attained that highest state of samadhi. In fact, he himself tried to explain and describe that highest state, which he could not do. So whatever he said is completely authenticated by his own experience. So it gives us more encouragement and inspiration to follow the footsteps of Sri Ramakrishna, because here is a person who is telling very clearly, without any doubt, go this way, you reach the place. He is literally leading us towards the highest truth. So Satchidananda Guru himself is the incarnation of God. What is beyond speech, beyond mind, is born in the flesh, assuming various forms and engaging in various activities. From that one Om have sprung Om Shiva, Om Kali, Om Krishna, Om Rama, Om Durga, Om Christ, you can say. The goal of human life is nothing but realization of the truth. If that is not done, it means you have to come again to this world. Again you have to pass through all these different types of experiences in life. These experiences keep on coming until and unless you learn through them. It won't leave you. You have to learn. It makes you learn. It makes you turn to the truth. The realization of the truth is only possible in this human life. So it is the best life. Even the life of the Devatas is inferior compared to that of the human. Devatas means ordinary Devatas, who have gone to that state on account of their meritorious deeds in their lives. Sense enjoyments, pleasures, all sorts of things you can have in other lives. But realization of truth, realization of God, realization of Brahman is possible exclusively in human life. From the spiritual point of view, the goal of human life is the cessation of all misery and the attainment of supreme bliss. All the miseries will stop once you reach the highest state of samadhi. Truths are very clear. Path is also clear. Methods also are clear. We have to make our effort to take the journey. Take the journey having faith in the words of incarnation, then you will see wonderful results in your life. So these are the words which Sri Ramakrishna has said. That was my comments for my last Reading. Page 366. The temple garden was filled with sweet music of the dawn service, which mingled with the morning melody from the Nahabat. Leaving his bed, Sri Ramakrishna chanted the names of God in sweet tones. Then he bowed before the pictures of the different deities in his room and went to the west fork to salute the Ganges. Some of the devotees who had spent the night at the temple garden came to the master's room and bowed before him. Rakal was staying with the master, and Babu Ram had come the previous evening. M had been staying there 2 weeks. Sri Ramakrishna said to M, I have been invited to Ishan's this morning. Babu Ram will accompany me too, and you too. M made ready to go with the master. At 8 o'clock, the carriage hired for the master stood waiting in front of the Nahabat. On all sides, plants and trees were in flower, and the river sparkled in the sunlight of the bright winter's day. The master bowed once more before the pictures. Then, still chanting the name of the Divine Mother, he got into the carriage, followed by M and Babu Ram. The devotees took with them Sri Ramakrishna's woolen shawl, woolen cap, and small bag of spices. Sri Ramakrishna was very happy during the trip and enjoyed it like a child. About 9 o'clock, the carriage stopped at the door of Ishan's house. Ishan and his relatives greeted the master and led him to the parlor on the first floor. Shrish, Ishan's son, was introduced to Sri Ramakrishna. The young man practiced law at Alipore. He had been a brilliant student, having stood first in 2 of the university examinations. But he was extremely modest. Master said to Shrish, "What's your profession?" Shrish answered, "I am practicing law at Alipore." Master said to him, "For such a man to be a lawyer?" To Shrish, he said, "Well, have you any questions to ask? Perhaps you want to know how to live unattached in the world. Isn't that so?" Shrish said, "Under the pressure of duties, people do many unrighteous things in the world. Further, some are engaged in good work and some in evil. Is this due to their actions in previous births? Is that why they act this way?" Master answered, "How long should a man perform his duties? As long as he has not attained God. Duties drop away after the realization of God. Then one goes beyond good and evil. The flower drops off as soon as the fruit appears. The flower serves the purpose of begetting the fruit. How long should a devotee perform daily devotions, such as the Sandhya? As long as his hair does not stand on end, and his eyes do not shed tears at the name of God. These things indicate that the devotee has realized God. From these one knows that he has attained pure love of God. Realizing God, one goes beyond virtue and vice. I bow my head, says Prasad, before desire and liberation, knowing the secret that Kali is one with the highest Brahman. I have discarded once for all both righteousness and sin. The more you advance towards God, the less He will give you worldly duties to perform. Shri said, it is extremely difficult to proceed toward God while leading the life of a householder. Master said, why so? What about the yoga of practice? At Kamarpakor, I have seen the women of the carpenter families selling flattened rice. Let me tell you how alert they are while doing their business. The pestle of the husking machine that flattens the paddy constantly falls into the hole of the mortar. The woman turns the paddy in the hole with one hand and with the other holds her baby on her lap as she nurses it. In the meantime, customers arrive. The machine goes on pounding the paddy and she carries on her bargains with the customers. She says to them, pay the few pennies you owe me before you take anything more. You see, she has all these things to do at the same time. Nurse the baby, turn the paddy as the pestle pounds it, take the flattened rice out of the hole and talk to the buyers. This is called the yoga of practice. 15 parts of her mind out of 16 are fixed on the pestle of the husking machine, lest it should pound her hand. With only one part of her mind, she nurses the baby and talks to the buyers. Likewise, he who leads the life of a householder should devote 15 parts of his mind to God. Otherwise, he will face ruin and fall into the clutches of death. He should perform the duties of the world with only one part of his mind. A man may lead the life of a householder after attaining knowledge, but he must attain knowledge first. If the milk of the mind is kept in the water of the world, they get mixed. Therefore, he should turn the milk into curd and extract butter from it by churning it in solitude. Then he may keep the butter in the water of the world. Therefore, you see, spiritual discipline is necessary. When the Ashwatha tree is a mere sapling, it must be enclosed by a fence. Otherwise, the cattle will eat it. But the fence may be taken away when the trunk grows thick and strong. Then even an elephant tied to the tree cannot harm it. Therefore, at the beginning, the aspirant should go into solitude now and then. Spiritual discipline is necessary. You want to eat rice? Suppose you sit down somewhere and say wood contains fire and fire cooks rice. Can saying it cook the rice? You must get 2 pieces of wood and by rubbing them together bring out the fire. By eating siddhi, one becomes intoxicated and feels happy. But suppose you haven't eaten the stuff or done anything else with it. You simply sit down somewhere and mutter, Siddhi, Siddhi. Will that intoxicate you or make you happy? You may learn a great deal from books, but it is all futile if you have no love for God and no desire to realize Him. A mere Pandit, without discrimination and renunciation, has his attention fixed on lust and gold. The vulture soars very high, but its eyes are fixed on the charnel pit. That alone is knowledge through which one is able to know God. All else is futile. Well, what's your idea about God? She said, Sir, I feel that there is an all-knowing person. We get an indication of His knowledge by looking at His creation. Let me give an illustration. God has made devices to keep fish and other aquatic animals alive in cold regions. As water grows colder, it gradually shrinks. But the amazing thing is that just before turning into ice, the water becomes light and expands. In the freezing cold, fish can easily live in the water of a lake. The surface of the lake may be frozen, but the water below is all liquid. If a very cold breeze blows, it is obstructed by the ice. The water below remains warm. Master said, that God exists may be known by looking at the universe. But it is one thing to hear of God, another thing to see God, and still another thing to talk to God. Some have heard of milk, some have seen it, and some again have tasted it. You feel happy when you see milk. You are nourished and strengthened when you drink it. You will get peace of mind only when you have seen God. You will enjoy bliss and gain strength only when you have talked to Him. Shirish said, we do not have time to pray to God. Master said with a smile, that's true. Nothing comes to pass except at the right time. Going to bed, a child said to his mother, Mother, please wake me up when I feel the call of nature. My son, said the mother, that urge itself will wake you up. I don't have to wake you. It's all decided beforehand by God, what each one shall receive. A mother-in-law used to measure rice with a dish for her daughters-in-law, that it was not enough for them. One day, the dish was broken, and that made the girls happy. But the mother-in-law said to them, Children, you may shout and dance, but I can measure the rice with the palm of my hand. To Shirish, Sri Ramakrishna said, surrender everything at the feet of God. What else can you do? Give Him the power of attorney. Let Him do whatever He thinks best. If you rely on a great man, He will never injure you. It is no doubt necessary to practice spiritual discipline, but there are two kinds of aspirants. The nature of the one kind is like that of the young monkey, and the nature of the other kind is like that of the kitten. The young monkey with great exertion somehow clings to its mother. Likewise, there are some aspirants who think that in order to realize God, they must repeat His name a certain number of times, meditate on Him for a certain period, and practice a certain amount of austerity. An aspirant of this kind makes his own efforts to catch hold of God. But the kitten of itself cannot cling to its mother. It lies on the ground and cries mew, mew. It leaves everything to its mother. The mother cat sometimes puts it on a bed, sometimes on the roof behind a pile of wood. She carries the kitten in her mouth hither and thither. The kitten does not know how to cling to the mother. Likewise, there are some aspirants who can't practice spiritual discipline by calculating about japa or the period of meditation. All that they do is cry to God with yearning hearts. God hears their cry and cannot keep Himself away. He reveals Himself to them. The point is, you said in the first that when they come and talk with incarnations, the problems become more emphatic. But the point is, the problems become more specified when he comes in contact with the incarnation. And incarnation will tell clear-cut ways to solve those problems, because you have to drive your vehicle. Your vehicle is your body and your mind. So, everything, guidance is given, steps are shown, everything is, as I said, clear. Path also is clear, as I said. But why then the person is not able to march onwards? Because his mind is not clear. Mind is not cooperating with him in his spiritual journey. So, the main purpose of sadhana is to prepare the mind towards spiritual journey. And it's true, nothing is in our hands. It is written on the wall, the truth, etc., etc. But whatever it is, but as long as we are in this relative world, as long as I am driving this vehicle, with my limited power, I try to assert myself. As long as I am trying to assert myself, I should do it in a proper way so that I will not lose the path. So, that is how the incarnation, that is why the need of incarnation, otherwise the incarnation need not come at all. And the point is, though everything is done by that inscrutable power, but that power is certainly in us. What incarnation tells you is that you realize that invisible power in your heart. That's what he is telling. Religion is nothing but inward journey. That's true. But we feel miserable because of the mind. If the mind is clean and clear, pure, then you feel very happy, cheerful all the time. So that shows mind is very important factor that needs to be understood. We have to cultivate the training of the mind properly, and all these disciplines are just meant to make the mind behave properly. That's the idea of these disciplines. Karma Yoga is given because through karma you are able to engage yourself and arrive at the truth, because people have got various inclinations. All people cannot sit and meditate on the divine. Some people may like to work. So, but anyway, whatever you do, as Sri Ramakrishna says, 15 parts of your mind give to God, with 1 part of mind we carry on other things. That's the meaning of doing Karma Yoga. 1 part of mind you should do Karma Yoga. 15 parts it must be given to God. But we are doing the reverse. 15 parts are in the mind, even 1 part also is not with the God. So all the trouble comes. And whatever it is, Guru says true, shows the way and tells all the various methods and means, etc. But you feel that nothing is in our hands, and ultimately God alone should reveal Himself. That is true. But the divine grace, God loves those who keep on waiting without any expectation. They just do the things and leave it in the hands of the ultimate reality. Let happen whatever happen, let it happen. I go this way. And incarnations, they tell, you do like this, you are bound to get that result. In fact, to one of the disciples, Holy Mother Sharda Devi was telling, when the devotee asked, I didn't have any vision, I don't find any progress in spirituality in spite of my getting initiation from you, etc. And Mother says, it's true, I have given you initiation. But in what way you are taking care of that mantra? Are you doing it, repeating it with Shraddha? Are you giving proper attention to the remembering of God? How many times you are repeating? Maybe hardly 108 times. Just for repeating 108 times in a day, you expect God to come and stand before you. Every day 15,000 times you repeat the remember, Repeat the mantra given to you 15,000 times every day. Not giving any excuse. Make up your time somehow or other. Do it positively for sufficient length of time. She even specifies the time also. 6 months or whatever it is. And afterwards you come and meet me again. I will see the state of your mind, and then I will be able to tell you, give you further instruction about what's to be done. So that means there are gurus and gurus. Enlightened gurus are remarkable. Incarnations are enlightened gurus. Their presence itself is enough for us to teach a lesson. People sitting in the presence of Ramana Maharshi, even they had lot of questions to ask. All questions would melt away just in the presence of Ramana Maharshi, and they would say, all my questions are answered. So that is the power of the divine. It immediately solves the problems in its own mysterious way. So that is the idea of incarnation coming, and there is no other way. We must keep on practicing it. Finally, of course, God Himself has to come. There is no doubt about it. It is not on account of my practice God has come. At least I am trying and struggling to get God. And if that struggling is sincere and honest, if there is no hypocrisy, then the divine power certainly reveals. And to make sure, remove all the doubts in the hearts of the devotees, Sri Ramakrishna himself blessed them on the last day before he left his body, what we call Kalpataru day. He called all the devotees at the Kasipur Ghat, come on. Because Sri Ramakrishna knew next day he would pass away. Before going, let me give some glimpses to them. And he called each one of them and touched every one of them. And each one of them had wonderful spiritual experience. Each one was ecstatic. That experience remained for continuously 3-4 days. Sri Ramakrishna made a statement. He said, now I have told many things about spiritual life. Many spiritual ideas have been scattered. I have given everything what is to be given. And I have shown you also some glimpses of the divine. It is for you to establish it in your life. Make it your own. I have given you, make it your own. So that part is always there. So we have to consider that way. So sitting and struggling, doing in spite of the mind not going with us, yet we sit and struggle. It has got its meaning. It works in its own way, and all the samskaras are removed from the mind. Brahmakara vritti. Now the mind has got so many other vrittis. All those vrittis are to be replaced by the vritti of God. When that comes, everything becomes easy. It takes its own time, doesn't matter. But the point is, even while doing practice, if you know the technique of doing, and at the same time take all precautions, not to slip down from the spiritual ideal, then finally you are sure to reach the goal. That's all what I can say. As long as you are holding unreal to be real, as long as you think the imitation happiness to be real happiness, always misery will be associated with that. You can never reach the perfect peaceful state, tranquil state with that view. Only when you get rid of ignorance, only when you get rid of this imitation happiness, then only you will have the taste of the real happiness. For the time being, You are enjoying a particular type of sweet meat. It looks very grand. But some other sweet meat which is more tasteful than this, if you are able to taste that one, then this becomes insignificant. In the same way, now if a person feels that way, then let him enjoy that happiness all the time. That's true. If a person thinks that this world is giving him nice life, nice in every respect, very good, let him be happy and let him play on. As long as he is not desiring to call God, God himself is not in a hurry to come to him. It is just like there is a story in Sri Ramakrishna himself has said in the Gospel, the Varaha Avatara. So in that Varaha Avatara, after the killing of the demon Hiranyaksha, the boar, the mission is over. Naturally, after the mission is over, he should give up the body and go back to his original place. But he is still living on with his kids and children and all other things, the family, nicely, and moving here and there, roaring, dancing and doing all sorts of things. Then when the time is on, when with respect to particular persons, there are so many indications to tell them that your time is over, please come back. So like that the indications were given to this boar. He just ignored them. Then Lord Shiva himself came there. What happened to you? You got go to Vaikuntha and you are staying here. Your mission is over. Oh, I am quite happy with my kids. Then he has to discharge Trishul to kill the body of that form. Then when the body is left, then Lord Vishnu is smiling, laughing loudly and going back. Just like that. As long as you feel you are wonderful, everything is rosy, carry on. Just like kids going to cricket match and football match. Oh, I am very happy, I don't want your God, I don't want your prayer, I don't want your temple, etc. I am happy. How that natural urge will come? Only through pain. Only through unpleasant things happening in the life. Otherwise, you will never know it at all. How Buddha renounced his wonderful kingdom and beautiful wife and child only when he saw the miserable condition on the street, beggars and disease, old age, etc. What is this happening? People are to die like this. People get old age. Then immediately it gave a kind of awakening to him. What is this mystery? I want to know. So he went. So the urge has to come. That's no doubt about it. Urge has to come to each individual. Just as the Sri Ramakrishna said, when the child tells the mother to wake him up in the morning for the nature call, then when the urge comes, that itself will wake you up. Just like that. Coming to God is like that. When you feel the world is like this, no more of this world, enough of it, then you will turn back. But there are so many ways. One is getting into that state and then turning back. Another is not necessary to go to that level, to that extreme. Even before going to that extreme, seeing the things, events, to learn and retreat back. Like that. Nothing is lost. And as Sri Ramakrishna said, everybody will complete the circle. There is no doubt about it. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years. When my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.